ADvTECH has proposed the rights offer of up to 850 million rand to drive accelerating investment strategy forward. I'm now joined by the Interim Chief Executive, Frank Thomson. He's in studio with us to tell us more about this. Frank, thanks so much for making the time to join us.
Pleasure.
I think firstly, let's just take a step back and talk about the timing of the rights issue and the proposed acquisitions or building in terms of organic growth. How are you going to be able to ensure that the funds that you're hoping to raise will be able to translate to the acquisitions that you're hoping to make? So looking at the time lag between the two.
Well, we have this pipeline that's by now been quite well publicized of around 3 billion rand that's been rolling along steadily. And as we complete a project, we've been able to add a new one. So that's been ongoing and has accelerated consistently over the last 4 or 5 years. What we're now seeing is, with the improved performance of ADvTECH and the particular circumstances, our great reputation for outstanding education, we're drawing improved deal flow. More and more people are wanting us to work with them in their businesses, mainly inside South Africa, but also outside. So we're seeing this acceleration, more and more opportunities, and we want to build the resources to be able to address those optimally and timeously and to do a good job of it.
The funds that you're looking to raise, you did say in your SENS announcement that they will go towards your debt, but also expansions or acquisitions. Can you give us some color around that? There's been talk of a 1 billion rand acquisition. Give us some guidance around that.
Well, that's not a single acquisition. That is the current list of additional projects that have been identified by the management team over and above the 3 billion rand or so that the board has already approved. So it's not one single investment.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do with the funds is, in the first instance, of course, the immediate application of it will be to reduce our debt and enable us to restructure it. But that puts us in a position to then execute on the increased and accelerating investment strategy, which is exactly the intention.
So in terms of these acquisitions, you just said it's not just one particular acquisition. There are quite a number of them. Are you maybe able to tell us if they're within South Africa, outside of South African borders?
As I say, the bulk of them, I can't give you details because they're still under negotiation, but the bulk of the billion rand increment is inside South Africa, but there's some exciting new opportunities outside South Africa's borders as well, which is part of the stated strategy of the group to expand into the rest of Africa.
Will you be following your rights?
As far as possible. Well, it's a shareholder matter and something that I have to think about, but to the extent that I can, I certainly would hope to do so.
And the pricing, how are you going to be pricing this?
Well, given current market volatility, we want to leave the window for volatility to affect our share price and the rights offer as short as sensibly reasonable. At the same time, that gives us an opportunity, while we go through the process of holding the EGM and getting shareholder approval to increase the share capital and make the shares available for the rights offer, we will be able to talk to and engage with shareholders and the market and really get an excellent call on what the right number is for the share price.
We've looked at your schools that have performed very well. Your tertiary education, we're still building up momentum when it comes to that.
Well, I think in the latest set of results, the tertiary division improved revenue by 20%, but operating profit contribution by 51%. And that's accelerated the tertiary division well past the previous high water mark, which was 2011, and means that we're now able to re-engage in growth and investment in that division as well. We are pretty confident that there's some positive developments coming down the line in the tertiary division as well.
Outside of South African borders, Botswana, you made an investment in that, if I'm not mistaken, earlier on in the year.
Yes.
How is that, what's the progress on that? Just give us an update on how the operations
That's the Gaborone International School. Right. It's performed extremely well. It's exceeded the enrollment numbers, and we certainly see exciting potential in the Botswana market, which is one of the markets we're looking at very closely at the moment.
Frank, thank you so much for coming in, giving us an update on this. Can't wait to touch base with you again. We'll be finding out more about these opportunities. That was the Interim Chief Executive for ADvTECH, Frank Thomson.